Hey, up YouTube, and welcome back to a new video with me, Ramsfan YT. I apologise for my lateness. My computer decided to do updates just before I wanted to go live to do this watch along. So you can thank my computer for that. We are watching the quarterfinals, the first four quarterfinals, France versus Morocco. It's a repeat of a 2022 World Cup, which saw France get through to the final and Morocco have to settle for third or fourth playoffs. France obviously won in 2018. A lot of people are tipping them as favourites for this tournament. But Morocco, I think, have been the team that has excited me most so far. I'm going to rattle through the lineups. So if there's an early goal, we're going to probably miss it. A 4-2-3-1 for both teams. France have got Magnan in goal, Luca Digne, William Saliba, Upamecano, and Koundé as the back four. Two holding midfielders in Rabiot and Kone. An attacking midfield trio of Doué, Elise, and Ousmane Dembele, with captain Kylian Mbappe leading the line. For Morocco, they got Bono in goal, a back four of captain Achraf Hakimi, who obviously plays for PSG, doesn't he? Diop, Mazraoui, and Salah Eddine. Two holding midfielders of Bouadi and El Ainouri. Attacking midfield trio of Talbi, Unahi, who's been really impressive this tournament, and Carnous. And Brahim Diaz will be leading the line. We are about to kick off. It's Morocco kicking us off here in the United States of America. I think it's in Boston, this one. And we are underway. And it's that novel technique of kicking it all the way forward into deep into the opponent's half for them to do a throw-in the defensive position. France, interestingly, playing in white today. Not their usual blue. I'm struggling to see where the kit clash is, and sometimes they just wear it for the sake of wearing it, don't they? But yes, it's gone with Magnan at the moment, and it's quick defensive interplay by France at the moment. But Brahim Diaz is bearing down. Nice bit of pressure from the Moroccan centre forward. And that's actually going to be a throw-in for France. Upamecano managing to win it in the defensive area. A bright start for Morocco. I like to see a team on the front foot. Well, that's a loose header and a chance for France to run. That will be the first free kick of the game, as Koundé was impeded by El Ainouri. I don't think you can have much complaints about that, to be honest. He's just stuck a leg out in front of him and stopped him from running. Because, as bright as day, that was a foul for me. Luca Digne with it and keeping it in a defensive position at the moment. But as we predicted, a very strong attacking start. Koundé goes in field, but Morocco cut it out. And it's a chance for them to get forward. Oh, that's a lovely piece of play by the number 10. I think it's Unahi who's managed, or maybe Brahim Diaz, who's managed to get past his players there. But unfortunately, it's come to nothing and may even go all the way. It does go all the way back to Bono in goal for a reset, and he kicks it long. That's a good searching pass if we can get there. But unfortunately, for their perspective, Kone managed to snap out the imminent threat. So, my score predictions for this is 2-0 to France. But I would love to hear people in the live feed tell me what their predictions are. It's almost reminiscent of Real Madrid, this white kit, the gold nature of it. Although I'm not sure why they get away with plating it in gold when it was 2018 they won it. When 2022 victors were, of course, Argentina up against France in that 3-3 draw on a penalty shootout, which saw Argentina win. One of the greatest game of football I have ever witnessed, personally, with some great saves by Martinez. But Mbappe has it. He's managed to keep hold of that relatively well and plays it out wide. Chance for a cross to potentially come in here. Can't quite find the target, but it's still a chance for possession. Luca Digne will travel it further upfield. It's currently on left with a number 20 for France. It goes infield and a shot comes in, and it's just wide by Kylian Mbappe. Did Bono get a touch to that? It was a very, very fast shot, that. Very fast indeed. And yeah, Bono tipped it behind. So we'll see a corner, which is taken very quickly. France are not messing around today. The corner comes in, it's headed down. Bono is forced to make a save and manages it quite well, actually. And a chance for a Moroccan counter-attack, if this is defensively not dealt with, it's forced all the way back to Magnan. Must save a number 7 there for Morocco, again, applying a great deal of pressure. And that's the sort of play I like to see. Immediately from a corner, applying pressure at the other end of the pitch, and it creates a very exciting game of football. And that will actually be a French throw-in. Just looking at that earlier, that header by Upamecano that was saved by Bono. It was on target. It was, a great effort initially. So Kylian Mbappe runs into the penalty area, but he's run it out too hard, and that'll be a goal kick. What a 5 minutes. If this intensity is played at throughout, then it's going to be a great game. France have really begun growing into the tournament, now. In the last game we watched, it was, fantastic in a sense, to a man. And, well, it's back with Diop, Diop will just let it run out of play for a goal kick. I don't know if he was going to try and take that or not. Seems a bit of an odd position to try and take a goal kick for me. I mean, Morocco, I do have a sneaky suspicion at some point that Morocco may well end up winning a World Cup, or at least an African nation of sorts. The standard of African football has improved massively over the last decade or so. And a large part of that, I imagine, is due to the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, bringing it to attention of a continent, where before it was just sort of isolated to the likes of Ghana and Nigeria. The North African nations have come into their own a lot recently. Hakimi will take this throw-in, and that's a great looping ball, but it just sort of cuts into midfield. Rabiot's flick on does not find the intended target, and instead Morocco have a chance to come away with it here. Had to sort of run around all over the place for 23 here. He's done a lot. And I am drinking, of course, 1664, the French beer. Do, of course, drink responsibly, but I like to try and drink some. If I drink a pint while watching football, try and watch one from a nation that's involved. Not incredibly easy to do when you're watching Cape Verde versus Argentina, but I don't think either of them two nations are particularly known for beer or cider. I'm not a huge wine drinker as well, by the way, and I feel it's just wrong to drink wine while watching a football match. I am waffling slightly. Morocco just keeping it back around in their defensive area at the moment. But a great progressive play through their wings at times. There is actually a balloon on the pitch. Are we going to see... what player was it who famously stamped on the balloon? Well, there's obviously that Arsene Wenger clip when it went into the bench. And his assistants stamping on it. The header was too much weight on it. And a chance with Elise to break forward there. He's laid it off to Rabiot. Out wide it goes. Dewey's got it. I thought he had a really impressive. I think he started on the bench, but when he came off, I think maybe for even an injured player, and had an immense second half for me. Did Dewey, and he's been bright this half as well, actually. I mean, he has just given away a free kick, but that doesn't take away from the fact he has had some great attacking surging runs. So it's out wide at the moment with Hakimi. He's gone, and if he can get there, he can't quite. It was a great run forward by Hakimi. I thought he would have just about managed to get there. Infantino, the corrupt FIFA president, shown there. He's like a massive Bond villain, isn't he? A great tackle there by Koundé, and Mbappe has it lined up in the area, giving it to Dewey. He comes in with a shot that's blocked. I mean, it wasn't ever going to get past for number 14, who did a great defensive job there for Morocco. Someone needs to tell me why Morocco's things is MAR. Why is there abbreviation on the score MAR? Like, that would make sense for like Mauritania or Mauritius or something. I can't think of any country which would have the initials MOR. So I don't know why they don't do that. Very odd. Hakimi passes it goes all the way back to Bono in goal. I think he's had a great campaign in all. 10 minutes still 0-0, but he's made a couple of great saves to keep France out so far. So when called upon, he's been a very dependable pair of hands. He goes long, looking for the run of Brahim Diaz. Can't quite manage it. It's become a bit of a long aerial ball, long balls left, right, and centre at the moment. Neither side's managing quite to stamp their authority on the game. He lifts the ball forward and he's looking for a runner, Hakimi, who again can't quite get there. A very similar situation, but Morocco's managed to come away with it here. Is that a foul off the ball? We have got screens, and I'm sure it was very much off the ball. I wasn't even looking. I just saw a player on the ground. So if that was a foul, it's quite cheeky. Elise going back to Koundé. A chance for France to run on the far side. Dembele's gone forward to Elise. Got a great powerful overload on that right-hand side when Elise does go out wide and assisting with Dembele. That sort of... He's listed, as an attacking midfielder, but out wide, what an ability. A darting run forward by Morocco. It was actually apparently a clean challenge by Koundé. I mean, I don't know. It seemed to be from behind, and obviously it's very... If someone goes down and a tackle's happened from behind, you're more likely than not to say it's a illegal foul. France are currently in a great position to attack. A great touch there has forced it to go back to Luca Digne. But everybody, this is like end-to-end stuff at the moment. We can hardly take the eyes off the game. And a chance for Rabiot. He lays it off to Dewey. He gets the return. It's given out to Luca Digne, who'll come with a cross in. Headed away. Wasn't a bad cross by the Villa left back. And progressing it up the right-hand side seems to be where their preference is, but occasionally when they switch out to the left, it catches Morocco more off guard because, well, we know the quality that is in that side of map. It will be a free kick. It's for number 24. Let's see this foul again. I mean, he's got the ball, but has also got Elise. Like, I mean, that decision, I think that is a foul against Brahim Diaz, the one we were talking about earlier, by Jules Koundé. I'm not convinced. I think the run, he was impeded from going forward into the penalty area. He probably counted himself a bit lucky. Usman Dembele was trying to tee it up and then decided not to. Instead of leaving it for number 14. Who's the centre-back, I'm pretty certain. Douy with it now. Cuts in field to Mbappe. He tried to lay it off, but alas, it wasn't successful. Morocco facing their own degree of pressure when they're on possession as well. It's all the way out on this near side with Hakimi. Great forward ball there and chance for Morocco to attack as a unit. Potentially a foul, but I'm going to play on. Oh, it's just too much done there. I don't know if he's going to bring it back for the foul. Unahi is the one who is on the floor. Brahim Diaz was the one with a great run. It was definitely a foul by Luca Digne. He came in late there. Very late. So I think it is going to be pulled back for the free kick. Because initially, I like that. That was a good decision by the referee. He looked to play advantage. The Brahim Diaz couldn't capitalise on it, so he brought it back for the foul. I sound very cliche right now. I do realise that. Hakimi taking on this free kick. It's way too high and wide. It was all wrong. Old and wrong. I mean, it has been fantastic. You see some of the capabilities on both teams' benches, and you wonder if that will be the difference between the game here. Although I must say, some of the substitutes by both teams have had huge impacts. Chance to progress the ball forward then. It's Mbappe in midfield. What a run. Now it's going to be a throw-in. Kanous is the one who got the last touch, I believe. But Mbappe with a great surging run forward. Very young for a captain, Mbappe, but clearly his maturity beyond his years. He was definitely El Kanous with the touch, which saw it go out. Luca Digne goes back to Rabia. And Koundé has it as a position to move the ball forward. Goes off to Upamecano. And Upamecano's got plenty of options. He's just opting to take the sting a bit out of the game. It's sometimes a worthwhile thing to do. Usman Dembele's got two players in front of him with Moroccan persuasion, so he's forced across to Rabiot instead. Luca Digne touching on the outside, gets short to Douy. He'll go to Rabiot, which will go all the way back to a defence in midfield. France just looking to assert themselves on the ball a bit at the moment, looking to take that sting out. Elise with the ball at the moment. In field to Mbappe. It's gone out wide to Douy. The cross comes in. It's headed, but headed wide. I think if it was Usman Dembele with the header. It was a great cross by Dewey, and it was Ousmane Dembele who couldn't quite direct it goalwards, and he's hit it wide and high. But it was a great cross. I mean, Rabiot's just come flying in, giving away a throw in there. Bit of an interesting decision. Hakimi to take a throw in. So far, there's only been apparently one shot on target, and that's gone France's persuasion. So Hakimi takes the throw. It's all got a bit aerial. Not for Mermaid. And Upamecano with it. Opts to go to Rabiot. With his man bun, it's quite obvious to tell who he is. We've got some great intellect. Dewey is sort of almost as the attacking midfielder at times. A cross from shot comes in either way. It was blocked and it's gone all the way back to Upamecano. I mean, we knew that France coming into this would look to exploit Morocco using their right-hand side. So Morocco has adjusted accordingly, which has meant that their left side has been left a bit more vulnerable. So the likes of Luca Digne are getting a bit more time on the ball at the moment. But another progressive run forward. Ousmane Dembele laying it off. The cross comes in. That's going to be behind for a corner. It's the number 3 who got the last touch. So for Morocco, of course. Is that Diop? That might be Diop who's number 3. So France will take a corner. And Elise to take it. He goes short. It's lifted in by Dembele. It's headed up and well over by Rabiot. That was all wrong. So there'll be a goal kick. It was all taken very quickly, and Hakimi's got it, and that pass is intercepted beautifully by Rabiot, who lays it off to. It's all with Elise at the moment. Going forward with Doué. He's got a lot of men in front of him. He's got 2 red shirts, so he's forced back to Rabiot, who decides to cut in field at the moment. And great game at the moment by France's perspective, just looking to control the ball a bit. And that's a great through ball to Rabiot. Gives it off to Elise, who that's too heavy of a cross, surely. And it is. That's going to be a goal kick. Too heavy a pass then from Elise. I believe currently at Bayern Munich. Obviously had a chance to get a call up to the England team, which he turned down in order to choose to affiliate with France. A bit like Haaland and Musiala, in fact. That will be a throw-in for France. It was a horrible goal kick. Hopefully, I won't be talking too much about Haaland in a couple of nights' time, and that he has a quiet game. There will now be a throw-in for Morocco, which Hakimi will take. It's a very sunny Boston by the looks of it. The heatwave here currently in Britain. I'm guessing it's translated a bit to America. Great searching full forward. That's actually a great opportunity, but it's snuffed out. And Morocco, if they wanted to, could probably mount a counter-attack here. And that's a great long ball forward. Talbi manages to get past Upamecano, but there's no one there. And it's forced the game to open up a bit, and France can go on the counter. That will be a foul. No. Morocco comes away with it then, and they've got Three players all searching forward. Brahim Diaz is the one currently with it. Lays it off to Hakimi, who'll do the 1-2. Oh, no, it's not. It'll give it to the number 8 instead. That's going to be a corner. Good work by Hakimi. You can see why he provides that little bit of class. Yeah, I agree. Not a free kick. By the way, Mbappe was claiming for it. Cross comes in. It's headed away. There's so many white shirts, man. I don't know where all the Moroccan shirts are. It was about double the amount of French players defending that corner kick than attacking ones. And again, Morocco come away with it. And again, it's a chance for them to display their attacking prowess. At the moment, it's just sort of content to keep possession in this final third, which in a sense isn't a bad idea. It keeps France away at bay and opens up an opportunity for a quicker attack. Hakimi out wide with their number 10, who has to try and take on his marker. I think it's Luca Digne having to be forced to do defensive work, which I don't think he's as good as offensive work. France will come away with this and a chance for a quick counter attack. It's laid forward. Mbappe is going to be running. That's a late challenge. Is it going to be a penalty? Mazraoui went flying into the challenge. Was it Mazraoui? It was somewhat. We'll see a replay, I'm sure. Here we go. Looking at this, controlled by Hakimi. I don't think it was a free kick to begin with, which they claimed. That's going to be a penalty. Mazraoui's not touched the ball. Or is it going to be a dive? It's hard to tell because Mbappe jumped on the floor before it was touched, but I think a penalty will probably be awarded here. Oh no, it's going to be a corner. It's not being overturned. I mean, we've only seen the one angle at the moment. There may be a different angle which tells a different story. No, I think it is going to be a penalty. They look like we're talking about it being a penalty. There's VAR checks, certainly, in this position. I mean, I think this gets given. I really think this gets given. I just can't see it not being. So Mbappe stands over it. The referee is making sure everyone is standing in the correct position. So yes, penalty it will be. It looked like it. Chance for Bono to yet again reach the headlines. For all the right reasons. Mbappe has a chance to slot it home, put himself back joint in the lead of the Golden Boot. Obviously, Messi getting himself 8 goals and up to 8 goals this tournament in his last game. Up against Egypt, which was wrought with controversy, which the Egyptian FA is not happy about. And they're having a right hissy fit at the moment about it. There's a bit of confusion about what is actually going on, by the way, at the moment. Because we haven't actually taken the penalty. It's taken a solid 2 to 3 minutes, to take this penalty. The VAR check is over and it is going to be a penalty. Right. Can we actually take it yet, ref? May as well have a hydration break beforehand, It's saved. The amount of delay managed to see Bono prepare mentally for it. And So it's saved by Bono, a very good save as well. He got both hands to it and held it. Predicted right. So we've seen another penalty save. I think we've seen a fair few this World Cup. Obviously, there was a couple in that Argentina versus Egypt game I was talking about, and one of them was saved. Yeah, I think the goalkeepers have been great so far in the penalty taking, the saving remarks. Currently, Mbappe is very wide. He sort of just plays wherever he wants, doesn't he? Too much done, and it will be a throw in for France, an attacking third. Mbappe sees a chance to complain about something. He tried to do that little, how Kane did it against Croatia, that little stutter in the run-up. But he didn't manage to make Bono do it early. I think that will be something that is going to be banned after this World Cup. I'm going to tell you that. It is now the drinks break, and I think it's a great chance. I love you. By a series of numbers and letters. Sorry if I was blurry, I don't know if it's been blurring the entire time for you. I'm sorry about that. So, I would guess that's something in French. I'm not a fluent French speaker, as you could probably imagine by my very thick English accent. My extensive knowledge of French spans back a number of years now. But yeah, Bono by far so far the best player on the pitch. And Buadi is the person who, by the way, came off for this throw, and which we'll see after the drinks break. He can maybe consider himself a bit lucky, Mazraoui, to not even have a card for that lunging tackle. But yes, I think both Brahim Diaz and Unahi have at the moment excelled in a forward position. I think Taubi maybe needs to do a bit more for me. But so far, Morocco have had an impressive attack, albeit no goals. And obviously, Hakimi has done a great job in that regard as well. There's a lot of people talking to a ref during this drinks break. By the way, this Boston Stadium is absolutely massive. It is ginormous. It's surely larger than like Old Trafford. I will be watching the Norway versus England game. I won't be watching. Is it Brazil tomorrow? As a live watch along, I'll probably try and watch it later on from kickoff. I'm trying to remember what the game is. It's Spain, because they got the 1-0 versus Portugal. And whether Spain are up against, I can't remember though. Okay, Brazil were knocked out. I can't remember who it is. I do not know. Digne to take a throw. No, I'm forgetting things. And, for a lot of French players are going forward at the moment, head to toe in white, and the shot comes in and it's wide ultimately by Ousmane Dembele. So far, he's just snatching at chances a bit, to be honest. He shifted onto his other foot, but was far, far, far too wide. Don't know if that's his weaker foot. I would imagine if he's switching the foot, he's going onto his stronger foot. So the goal kick is taken long downfield. But Mbappe managed to gain it and runs quite forcefully. And a chance for a counter by Morocco. Oh, Brahim Diaz has just overrun too much there. Is that going to be a foul? No, says the ref. At least he was the one who went tumbling to the ground. A fluid attacking unit is, well, both of these two teams actually. It's hard to really nail down who is playing in what position. And Saladin with it at the moment. I remember that name from the last World Cup. And like, oh yeah, well, it's not going to be as good as the most. I he actually had a really good campaign and proved everyone wrong. So far, it's not a lot of midfield work that Morocco have managed to make progress from. It's mainly quick counter attacks from the wings. That's because France plays so high up with wing backs and whatever, and they leave themselves a bit exposed. You know that Luca Digne seems as a bit of a weak spot in this lineup. And actually, that's a great touch forward. Can Brahim Diaz get there? He cannot. That's going to be that was a great head down forward by Rabiot, but it has been sliced out. Rabiot is actually almost playing as a cam at the moment. He is now regressing a bit, but and another chance. Resting on possession, the Cena. Wow. I thought Dewey might have scored there. Bono managing to get the touch. Too long on the ball by the number 6. And yeah, Dewey with a great opportunity to make this 1-0. Yet again, Bono denying it. He looks determined to keep a clean sheet today. Elise with the corner kick then. Is that in the quadrant? No, says the ref, and it's moved the half an inch to put it in the quadrant. If I could notice it, I'm sure everyone else could. And that's headed into the arms of Bono. Don't know who it was. Who was it? Was it Koundé actually with the head? Quite possibly. Well, Morocco somehow come out best in a melee. Well, the French player who was down, who's claiming the free kick, I think was the one who did the foul actually. I think it's Kone. Koundé and Kone. So it annoys me every single time because there's literally one letter difference in their names, and they're like one's number 5 and one's number 6, and I can never remember which one's which. Because they swap where they play as well during the game frequently. And on the right-hand side, it currently is. Talbi has gone safe there. I mean, Talbi's playing very defensive. 10 attempts, by the way, for France. 3 on target. None for Morocco at the moment. Which it doesn't necessarily tell you how his game is currently going. I think, yes, obviously France are the ones that are dominant on both of the possessions and the final third accuracy on play. But there's been times that Morocco have broken. Just their counterattacks have been snuffed out in the end before they can get a shot away. But you are in a position that I definitely think, is that going to be a free kick? And it is. Kone's gone tumbling. El Ayoun is the one who's protesting that decision. I think El Ayoun is right to complain about that. I think if there's anything, it's the foul should go the other way. By the way, it's a great save by Bono earlier. How the flip has that been given as a French free kick, I don't know. It was taken quickly. It's now away in, like I said, several touches and passes since, but we need to say the initial one being taken. The attack is currently being cut out. It looked a bit in danger, Morocco, there. There were several white shirts all around. And so Morocco do have a free kick in the defensive midfield, which they wanted to take quickly and then, well, thought better of it. The ball was also moving while it was taken. So it's one of them petty things as well. Bouazi, who gave away the penalty earlier. I will not mention that every time he gets to play the ball, by the way. But I think it is worthwhile mentioning, because I haven't actually mentioned him since that penalty decision. At the moment, there's been a lot of interplay between the goalkeeper and this. I think he's number 14. I need to check who he is at half-time. This always ends up happening. And then they always bring substitutes on, and then I can, just when I'm beginning to learn my lineup, a chance here for a cross, and that's going to be defended away. And actually, a second chance to come in. Well, he was going to be miles offside. So, I mean, there were so many better options in that position than trying to find a man who was standing 5 yards offside. It's just bizarre decision. It's that decision making in the final third which has been Morocco's undoing this game. We're actually not even that far from half time. This half has flown by. Like, generally, 40 minutes in, it's 0-0. It's been a fantastically exciting half. We saw this in Morocco versus Brazil. I mean, it did quieten down in the second half. I think it did actually end in a draw. I think it was 1-1. But that's obviously was in the group stage, so we didn't go into any extra time or penalties. I've actually been very blessed that all the games I've so far chosen to do a live watch along for haven't gone into extra time or penalties this tournament. So I'm hoping that I can continue my lucky streak. Although at least this time I've not got anything to rush to do afterwards. Because sometimes I've been a bit silly and planned other things around and been quite lucky that it didn't end up in a draw. For example, Argentina versus Egypt. I had a barbecue planned afterwards, which was very nice, by the way. Thank you very much for asking. Yeah, not considering the possibility of extra time in penalties and that, when it was left very late for it to happen as well. El Canoes has been fouled by Uber Meccano. I mean, it's hard to tell which position he plays in. Because at first, I thought it was a winger. When he started playing more centrally, and now he's gone back out wide again. Well, Unahi has just given away a foul. Is that a Moroccan bicycle helmet? What have they done? Cycled from Morocco to be there? That would be a challenge. So we're in a completely different continent, which isn't connected by land. Morocco need to be careful here, because the likes of Koundé is ratting around. And, so far, Morocco's defensive midfield has been ineffective for me. They're two sitting midfielders. That's where I would like to see an improvement in the second half of it. I like the idea, Hakimi, but You didn't have the length of width of the pitch to be able to do it. Meccano with it in the centre circle. A lovely interchange of passage of play, but ultimately it's only going to be with Brahim Diaz. He's another one who keeps on switching around because he's now currently playing at like right midfield. He's almost like their Mbappe, which I think is maybe unfair or glowing comparison for Brahim Diaz, or unfair comparison for Mbappe, but they do play quite similar styles of play, actually. Ousmane Dembele with it now, by the way. And he's had to go squared to Upamecano. That's going to be it's too much weight on the ball. I'm trying to find my number 5. I wonder what Didier Deschamps is thinking at this particular moment in time. Had that penalty saved, but I think maybe considered a bit unlucky that one of his great many efforts on target hasn't found the back of a net yet. Bono has been a bit of an impenetrable force in the goalkeeping department. The next major tournament we will be seeing France in is, of course, the Euros in the home nations. In England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland. I hope, and it will be quite competitive for tickets, I imagine, but I do hope I'll be at least able to go to one game live. It's a bit of my dream of mine to go to at least one international game live. It will have to probably be in group stage, I imagine, but would be great, wouldn't it? Let's go to an international tournament. 5 minutes of added time. A long ball forward, but Bono comes out and clears it. He needed to do that. Luca Digne with ball forward to Dewey. Who has done too much. And but he has managed to get the ball back there. And left it beautifully for Elise, who I don't know what he's doing on that side, to be honest, but it was so wide out to the near side this time. Chance for Ousmane Dembele to progress the ball forward. The cross comes in. Plenty of space. There's too much space being left in the defensive area. Dewey managed to get it, and Luca Digne's got it now. Dewey with it now. So many spaces being left by this Moroccan back line, which enabled them to so far being bested by a very rapid France team. Although they're still manage to keep a clean sheet, but Bono is mainly part of that. Luca Digne with an outrageous effort. If that went in, that would have been one of the goals of a tournament. It was like Ronaldinho in 2002. It's just slapped and it's just hit the crossbar, but it was dipping. It was so close to being an absolutely amazing goal. It's just absolutely smacked it with a left swinger, and it's dipping and it's just hit the crossbar. That would have been a beautiful goal. That would have been like goal of a tournament for me. It's just so much in it's just slow motion, and I just thought that is going to be a wonderful goal, but alas, the crossbar denied him. And I argue that's actually been the best chance of the game, despite all the shots on targets and the penalty save and whatever. But actually, that was the one which was the most wonderfully crafted opportunity. Hakimi has successfully claimed that he was pulled by Dewey, who is now quite frustrated about that decision. I don't think he was. Actually, I think he was the one doing the pulling. From that angle, to be fair, it does look like Dewey's pulled him to the ground. I can expect. I respect that decision. from that angle, he has been pulled completely. They're both pulling each other, in fairness, but one is definitely pulling more than the other. Too many words of all use the word pulling in that situation. 2 minutes left. As I said, a half actually has gone by very quickly. And Morocco are all foraying forward at the moment. It's making sure everyone's got it. Out with Brahim Diaz. Unahi, I was bigging him up at the start of the game. I don't think he's done much so far. It's all been going through Hakimi and Brahim Diaz, who I also have a lot of respect for, by the way. Hakimi, one of the mentions, has now just passed it to Brahim Diaz, who comes off with a shot. It's fortunate it's going to the path of El Canoes. That me? Was that a handball? I think Rabiot might have handballed it there. Yeah? Rabiot, what are you doing? He's lucky that's not in the penalty area. I think that should be a yellow card for an intentional handball, obstructing a goal-scoring opportunity. Because that was an effort on goal. How has he not been booked? I'm flabbergasted. Can we get the drone out of the camera shot, please? It's also having a rubbish footage, by the way, just zooming in on Mannion. Right, either Hakimi or Brahim Diaz will take this. It's a fantastic opportunity. You obviously shoot to goal for here. Shot comes in, it's wide. That's rubbish. Hakimi, what are you doing? Just what are you doing? That's your best effort or chance to, you've not got the curl at all on that. That's going to be the end of a half. And we'll see out this action of this half. But, yeah, slightly jaded at that sort of rude opportunity there. I think it's left a bit of a sour taste. But, I want to see at least challenging the goalkeeper from that position, I must say. Well, Bono has been the goalkeeper who has had much more to do in this half. I think that is fair to say. A lot of the attacking momentum of France's direction. They did miss a penalty. Well, Mbappe tried to do the little stutter in his run-up to try and coax Bono off his line. Didn't work. Was read incredibly well. And that is why we'll start off with Bono, who is on an 8.3 for this Moroccan team. Every single thing, he's determined to keep a clean sheet. He presented 1.4 goals, apparently. He's made 3 saves in total. He's had 1 successful run out as well. And he's actually done a decent bit of defending himself. He's done 1 clearance, 3 recoveries. Bono, what a player. At the moment, my man of the match. If he carries on the form he's doing, he 100% deserves man of the match, I mean, we did see Zetterstrom pull off some masterclass saves up against this France team, but they still managed to win 3-0. They are a relentless force. Hakimi on a 6.5, which I think is harsh because that implies that he's just been average. I mean, in terms of he's won 4 out of 7 ground duels, but he was dribbled past twice. And hasn't done enough in defence, maybe. I always think with Hakimi, though, he's more of a right midfielder than a right back. So I think he's being a bit judged for that. But even then, if we're considering some of the things that you expect your right midfielders to do, then I actually think, yeah, I want to see him progress a bit further forward because he's a threat. He is a threat. And we know just try and wrong foot Luca Digne, and it's just so far, he's been a bit selfish at times, 6.8 for Diop, 6.9 rather for Diop. Just updated right in front of my eyes. Has had a lot of a ball, has had 6 defensive contributions as well, 2 block shots, 2 clearances, 2 recoveries, 1 interception. I think he's been an important defender. I think he plays for Brentford. It could be Fulham. It's one of the clubs in London, and in the Premier League. One of the ones in West London, which is mid-table. But he has been, quite frankly, a stone wall in terms of his performance so far. 6.2 for Mazrui. I mean, it was a clear-cut penalty. That is what's going to bring you down his ranking at this moment in time. They do bring it down. He's got a chance to recover it in the second half, don't get me wrong, and I don't think he's actually been horrific. But when the overriding thing we're saying about him is he's the one who committed the foul which led to the penalty, it does sort of sum up the half, doesn't it, for him? 6.8 for Salah Eddin, and I think he's actually done a decent job. We'll probably see more of him in the second half because invariably he'll be closer to me on the screen. He's won all 3 of his ground duels at the moment. Has won 2 out of 3 tackles as well. I don't think he's put a foot wrong, and he's often drifted in field actually, making almost like a 3-3-3-1 formation at times. He's been infield and midfield to sort of compensate a bit for the weaknesses, particularly of the Buadi, who's on a 6.3, who I've been really confused about what he's been doing, to be honest. His passing isn't great. His defending isn't great. I mean, I'm struggling to see what he's bringing to the team at the moment, Buadi. So if they do have a player who is a defensive midfielder, might be an opportunity to bring him on. The likes of names I've seen before, I don't know if they play in that position, but just I've seen Yassine, I've seen Saibari, although I think he might have been injured, Al-Kabi, Rahimi. They've all been big names in the past, but I think they're all attacking players. 6.7 for El Ainui. His first name's Neil, by the way. I'm going to just call him Neil. I mean, he's on a 6.7. I mean, you can't really criticize what he's done in the game so far from a defensive midfielder viewpoint. But when I look at the other players who I've seen so far this tournament at this stage in the game, who, the likes of Rodri, Paredes, what they've done so far, and Declan Rice, he doesn't fit into that category of me of being that good of a player compared to them. Okay, so I don't think anyone is claiming that he is. But in terms of, I wanted to see him get more passes involved. 6.7 for Brahim Diaz. People are saying Safe Score seems to imply that he's had a quiet game. He's had 2 crosses, neither of which have been accurate. I mean, they're probably fairly right, but I think I've been excited every single time I've seen him on the ball. I've been thinking, oh, he's making a darting run forward there. He's recovering the ball nicely there. He's doing a lot of that attacking play, not getting the rewards. I think that is fair to say. He's been coming too deep because Hakimi, who normally powers on forward past him, has also been playing too deep. That's part of the problem. I think Dewey's been having a wonderful game, and I think that's part of why Brahim Diaz has almost been forced back. 6.7 for Unahi. I mean, compare that to what he's had previous games. I actually think it's been a relatively bad game for his standards. I don't think it's been a horrific game per se, but in terms of the standards he's set so far this World Cup, I think it has been a bit of an average performance that we came to expect him to make them darting runs into the box. And he just hasn't, I don't think. 6.5 for Talbi, the weakest, I think, of all the attacking players. Hasn't really worked on that left-hand side. I mean, we're always expecting him to do a bit more defensive work when you're up against, you know, the likes of Dembele, Elise often frequently going out to that side, Kone. It's a position that has often been quite a trying one. But if Talbi, you know, goes on the attack, forces Dembele back, you weaken that French attack immensely. 6.9 for El Canoes. I think that's generous. What's he done? Like, I'm not even being facetious. Like, what has he done? I cannot think of like a moment this game that I'm like, well, that was a great effort by him, or that's a great run by Finn. I just can't see what he's done. He's been too wide when he's meant to be a central player as well. And that's the thing. They don't have a focal point at the moment. 6.3 for Kylian Mbappe. That penalty miss, obviously bad. And he only had one shot as well, and that's on the 4th minute, and that missed. Especially for his standards, he's had a very poor game, hasn't he? He's had to have other people around him relying to do a better attack. 7.0 for Doué. Yet again, Desiree Doué having a fantastic game down that left-hand side. His dribbling has been almost second to none. You know, he's made 45 touches, 10 carries, 4 of them being progressive. I mean, for me, an absolutely fantastic player. 6.7 for Michael Elise. I think he's been a bit here, there, and everywhere, a bit sporadic, often becoming so wide. He's had 1 key pass, 1 cross, which was accurate as well. But when it's becoming centrally and like towards the goal mouth, he's been a bit too heavy in the touch. I think he'll be his own biggest critic. He'll know what I'm saying here. And I think when you're in that final third, if you're trying to overload the final third, you need Elise to be more central if he's the central player. I don't think France know who their central player is at the moment, because they're also all going too far wide, and that's why they've not scored at the moment. But they've had, you know, more clear-cut chances. That is fair to say. But if they suddenly get Mbappe to actually be that centre man he's meant to be, I think you suddenly start realising this team can be devastating. 7.2 for Ousmane Dembele. Again, from a purely shot basis, he's had 3 shots in total, and all of them have been, you know, one of them was blocked, not one of them were on target. It's been a pretty blunderous show. Passing-wise, his cross-field balls have been fantastic. 2 key passes, 1 big chance created. Both of his crosses were accurate. So from a winger perspective, if I want him to be someone laying him crosses, then he's done a great job of that. If I wanted him to be somebody to shoot, well, he's done a horrific job of that. So this is why Mbappe needs to be in the box. This is where, you know, Mbappe is sort of out of position. He would have been an Elise, and Elise is out of position because he would have been a Dembele, but because you've had to try and fit all 3 in the squad, you sort of messed around a bit. And Karim Benzema was that classic target man, fox in the box. So was Olivier Giroud. They used to have it in France, but just don't think they have it in a moment. And that's what they don't have a Harry Kane like England do. They don't have a Erling Haaland, and I think that's where their biggest weakness will be, and why they may not win the World Cup is because of that. 6.8 for Adrien Rabiot. He always fancies himself for a long shot, doesn't he? And actually, I think it's been a bit of an average performance from him. We used to see him. He has headed the ball once over the bar. But yeah, I think nothing extraordinary about Rabiot today. 7.0 for Manu Kone. I think he has been much better. You know, often teeing up balls in field, 1 key pass is what it says here on SofaScore. You know, it's often been feeding and actually doing what I expect my defensive midfielders to do, try and feed in that central attacking midfielder or play it out wide to your Dembele's, and he's done both with exceptional skills. Jules Koundé on a 6.8. if he gets one more, you know, if he gets that extra yard forward or two, it could be devastating, because I think he's making the right runs from time to time, but maybe not finishing them off. If you're playing with wing backs, 6.5 for Uber Meccano, just been a bit of an average performance. I mean, the shooting aspect will bring him down because the corner he had was straight at the goalkeeper. But I don't really think he's had the worst game. He's sort of been very central as well, hasn't he? 6.7 for William Saliba. Has had the ball a fair decent amount. I sort of haven't really noticed him because he's just sort of been getting on with the game. And also 6.7 for Luca Digne. I thought he probably deserved better than that. I thought some of the chances that he has created has been quite good. And I think him and Doué has actually had quite a good link-up play. And a 6.5 for Mannion hasn't really had anything to do. So I don't really get that sort of as a rating. From Casabink 4941, I don't know why every game of Argentina turns out to be controversial. Obviously, there is something. You're in your rights to believe that, mate. You're in your rights to believe that. I'm not going to comment. I just felt that Argentina were going to win, actually, when I was doing a live watch on that game, because I thought as soon as Egypt scored 2, they were just going to switch off. So I think, in fairness, for Argentina, it wasn't like they were presented with the opportunities and they capitalized on it. In terms of the hand of God moment, obviously, when we're talking about that isn't obviously corruption towards Argentina. And there has been, historically, whenever it's been played in the Americas, a bit of bias towards the American teams. And when it's been played in Europe, they tend to be more biased towards the European teams. It's just kind of how it is. And I think a lot of Argentina's games been in Mexico as well, if I'm right in remembering. So, it's quite a similar advantage. They both speak Spanish there. Some of the climates are a bit similar with this sort of altitude aspect, particularly in the west of Argentina. So that helps them in that aspect. Whereas, Egypt typically quite a flat desert. So in terms of that, I don't want to delve too much into conspiracy theories and thinking that what was obviously corrupt was the USA's red card decision being overturned and Balogun being allowed to play. Now, that for me, that's obviously corruption. And that, for me, you would have a leg to stand on if you were talking about that. But in terms of Argentina, they're a good team. They always have been. Morocco are coming out of the tunnel now. I believe France are already out. So I don't know if we're going to have any substitutes. I doubt it. So far, Bono has had an absolutely fantastic game. I will say that. I will also say that the Tier 6 predictions video will not be out tomorrow. I've been trying to advertise it all week, but sort of known in the back of my head that it was an unrealistic target and I will not be able to hit it. It will come out some point next week. But to be fair, once the World Cup is over, I can spend more time focusing on researching for the predictions and actually give genuine full attention to it. There is over Tier 10 predictions posts which came out today around about midday-ish, 1 o'clock-ish, I think it was, all as posts. So if you fancy seeing any of my predictions from Tier 7 to Tier 10, they are now all up there on the community tab. Let me know in comments what you think about them. France are fully ready. They're all in their lineup, and only now is Morocco coming out of the tunnel. Maybe a bit of mind games and or maybe, enough was said from the song. She just said, more of that the second half, get a bit more rigid in formation. I think sometimes you can be too fluid. I think seeing that, Deschamps seems to be looking at a sheet of paper which potentially has mentions of some substitutes he could be utilising. And I would not be surprised, looking at the threats on the bench that France possess, if France opt to utilise their full 5 substitutes in this game. We've got 7 seconds left until the kick-off. I don't see the point of this countdown thing. Anyway, we're kicking off. France have done almost exactly the same thing as what Morocco did, of taking a throw, forcing the other team to have a throw in, or in the deep area. Morocco took it quick, ended up going to Bono, and he'll just lever it downfield. He's actually done horrifically badly. That's his first mistake in the game, under no pressure at all, giving a throw in for France. I hate this new kickoff routine. They're constantly looking for new things to do. What happened to just taking the short pass and then trying to, pass it forward with short little passes forward, try and get into the final third? That's how I always used to play when I did it on FIFA 15. I used to go, you didn't have the option. I think at that point, you had to go short. But then you go and then give it out to one of your wingers, and then you go and power up down there. Mannion in goal for France. Digne, Saliba, Upamecano and Koundé. Rabiot and Kone. Doué, Elise, Dembele, and Mbappe. So all unchanged for your France team in a 4-2-3-1. As is not too surprising, you don't tend to make a substitute at half-time anymore. For Morocco, Bono in goal. Saladin, Mazuri, Diop and Hakimi. El Ainoui and Bouadi. Talibi, Unahi, Brahim Diaz and El Kanous are also unchanged in the 4-2-3-1 for Morocco. Dembele with it in the attacking third, and he's makes his opposite number there, with number 24, to try and get the pass out. But actually, it's ended up backfiring, and Morocco have a chance for a counter here. Laid it out wide. A great chance here. They need to take the cross in. The cross comes in. It's flicked on, but that's probably a worse option, as it enables time for Talbi to control it. I'm not sure what Kone was doing necessarily. And a chance for it's smothered away. But second chance for Brahim Diaz. Should have maybe taken it first time, because France could just take a sting out of that way too easily. Nahi should have maybe also taken a chance on earlier when he had it. And Nahi has it now. Often dropping quite deep at times in Nahi, but that for Morocco, that I love the positivity. I actually looked at my stats today to have a cheekily amusing myself, because I can see which cities are most popular watching my videos. Turns out Casablanca is number 1. So hello to all my new Moroccan fans. I hope you are having a lovely day. I don't know what time it is currently there. A long searching downfield ball looking for Doué. And that's going to be a corner kick. It was a good ball. A very, very good ball. I've never seen, that's a great long ball. He's completely managed to stay on side. But unfortunately, his touch let him down. And so Bono can take the goal kick. It was a very difficult ball to control. It was pretty much 3/4 of a pitch. Long pass. And, as we had seen a lot in the first half, a very expansive set of play, and a chance Morocco has for a break here. Talby can run onto this if he can get there. Oh, couldn't quite get the burners fast enough and get there. Kone's actually, I think, pulled a muscle potentially in trying to win that foot race. Not wishing ill on a player, but it would help a lot to stop the confusions between Kone and Koundé if one of them does come off. He is back up on his feet. He is limping a bit. I mean, I definitely don't think there's a foul involved in it. So Saliba has it. All you Arsenal fans probably waiting for like a full hour for me to actually mention his name. I just don't tend to see the need to mention centre backs' names too much because, you know, they control the ball, and unless they do a bit of defensive work, it's not a lot of point in mentioning it. You know, for example, Upamecano has it now, but who actually cares? Just name checking for the sake of name checking, isn't it? So that is a good progressive piece of football there, but there's so many red shirts. Inevitably, one of them was going to get it, and alas, it was the case. All the way back with Bono. It was in a sense of sort of a cross between a greeny yellow sort of kit. Depending on what your light is, will probably depend on what kit colour you will say there. And actually, somehow Morocco have managed to come away with the ball there. Both players were a bit scrambling, and great run forward here. I think it's El Khanous. Laid off to Talby, who's had a much better half already. That's going to be a corner. Talby was blocked off from taking the cross, but maybe a corner might be seen as a bit better in this position. Is this Moroccan first corner? Is it maybe second? They've not had many corners. I can't think of many situations they've had like this. Obviously, they had the free kick just before the stroke of half time, but that was disappointing. Hakimi will have a chance to redeem himself here. He might go short. He actually hasn't. He got it again, Hakimi. He's on the wrong side from what he's used to. Unahi, he's got white shirts in front of him. He's going to be quite hard pressed. He's actually managed to do very well there. But still, it's flicked on, I believe, by Mbappe. Lifted ball forward. I don't know if that's a shot or a pass. Whatever it was ended up in a goal kick taken by Manuel quickly. Yeah, not impressed. You can tell that was a bit of a defensive effort about whatever it was. It was very wayward. So we are sort of entering this time period where the formula is working but not resulting in goals for either side. A personnel tweak may be coming as a result of that, but then may result in them actually conceding because of that. So Baduni manages to get that away from goal and a chance for another Moroccan counter-attack. Again, it's Talby, who's had, as I will say again, a much improved second half. Upamecano is forced to put a tackle in there and a throw-in. Whatever was said at half-time to Talby has had an absolute transformational effect. He leaves it. Who's going to take this? Salah-Eddin, potentially. I think he is. Well, that's sort of wrong-footed. I think everyone in a Moroccan shirt. So Salah-Eddin has it again now. Oh, that's going to be a sloppy foul. What are you doing, mate? Is it Baduni or it was something? It was a number 6. I've just not been impressed with this game at all. But I don't know who Morocco have to bring on, which would be a like for like. Oh, that's a poor ball, and he's lucky he's got it quickly there and recovered. Jules Koundé, because he was in sleeping and it's gone straight to Bono as the Dewey shot. He wrong-footed Hakimi and came in with a shot. Actually, I expect Bono to catch that. He got the seconds, fine. But I believe he's Al Hilal's goalkeeper. But do correct me if I'm wrong on that fact. But you won't want him to be injured because I think all of their backups playing the Moroccan leagues. 55 minutes in men, still 0-0. Dembele laying it off to Rabiot, who will go in field to Upamecano, and they'll be looking to switch play here. Mbappe yet again coming far too deep and wide in this position. How can they expect to score when he does that? Well, Elise is running in and it's a rush shot from Mbappe way over the crossbar. Elise's done a fantastic job. But Mbappe can't finish his dinner. I mean, the through ball from Elise was perfect. I mean, it was offside, Mbappe, actually. Whether he knew it or not, I'm not sure. Actually, it was a deflection. So it was a bit lucky in that regard that it even found Mbappe in the first place. Well, that's a great cross-field ball. A chance for Mbappe to run, I think, is it? Yeah, Mbappe with it now. And he's forced to go backwards because he's surrounded by red shirts. He's got it again, but he's really far out wide, Mbappe. He's really wide. You can tell he's more of a natural winger. He doesn't like playing as a number 9. That's why he's got a number 10 on the back for one. He doesn't like being that target man. They just needed a Giroud. You don't have a Giroud anymore. Elise with a bit of tricks and flares, but ultimately forced back to Upamecano. Bonani was having none of it, by the way. That was a reckless challenge. It was lucky he didn't make any contact with number 14, Diop, who I was rating so highly for the first half. Could have given away another penalty. He was just left completely stranded. Morocco fans look absolutely delighted. They've gone such a long way, Morocco, over the years. Reached the semi-final stage last year where they lost actually to France. I think it was 2-0 then actually as well. Is that going to be a handball? I think it is. It'll be a free kick. It was a... Let's see this handball again. Yeah, Kone has unfortunately hit his arm. I don't think he knew too much about it. But again, can't have too many complaints about it. Unahi, incredibly deep, going backwards past to Diop. Flicked on to no man's land. France's XG is 2, Morocco's is 0.06. Should be 2-0 to France, is what basically that stat is saying. Yet again, reinforcing the point, what is the purpose of this stat? No one has yet to manage to convince me that this stat means anything. What? Expected goals. You either score a goal or you don't, XG is just the stupidest stat of all time. Because it's entirely based upon probability as well. Morocco managed to defend well. Over that's poor by Brahim Diaz, being cheap in possession. Bazzouni manages to come away. It's a shot comes in and that's a goal. Mbappe has finally found a breakthrough on the edge of a penalty area, and that man, you feed him an opportunity and he will eventually score. Morocco will complain about something. Invariably, there will be. But I didn't see too much wrong with that shot, to be honest. Well, I don't know what they're complaining about, to be honest, Morocco. If there is anything to complain about, VAR will be having a look at it. But it's just about an hour in now. So it's now 1-0 to France. This is a horrible camera angle. Who opted that this would be a great camera angle? Diop, man. It's a great goal. There's no way Bono was going to get there, but Diop needed to stay big and he went small. I think he was worried that Mbappe was going to try and megs him, but actually he's just gone round him instead. Disappointing for Morocco, but it was coming. There's only so much Bono can do to bail you out of trouble. The goal has been given, I think. Whatever the complaint was, it was considered vexatious by the referee. Well, Rahimi and Amrabat are coming on. El Khanous, who has not had an impact, has come off, as has Bouardi, who I've not been rating as well. So I agree with these substitutes. Amrabat coming on and Rahimi coming on. Great changes. I was surprised Rahimi didn't start, actually. Yet again, this stupid tactic of just powering it downfield for a throw into the opposition has been employed. I don't think I've come across the more stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. Morocco need to get a goal now, so they just need to power people forward a bit. Presumably, that's where the thinkings of bringing Rahimi comes in. I just think he's a naturally better goal scorer. I think Mbappe's got a nosebleed. He's down holding his face, like his nose particularly. Unahi laying it out wide and gets the return. It goes back in defence. I think that's Amrabat's first touch, actually. That's a bad challenge. Diop goes sliding in, will be the first player to receive a yellow card as he's just gone absolutely ridiculous. Issa Diop up against Mbappe. I'm not entirely sure how you're complaining in this position. You've just gone clattering into him. No intention to play the ball at all. You just entirely got the player. Absolutely disgraceful. Deserves the yellow. Issa Diop can't complain. When you get a timely player, you deserve the yellow. He also blocked off Mbappe for that. Time went down holding his face beforehand, by the way. So it may not have just been that decision which was influencing the ref's mind in that brandishing the first yellow card of this game. And now France are progressing forward with Dewey. Giving it to Luca Digne. Diop has actually done good defensive work there to put it behind for a throw-in. Cross was coming in. Mbappe is now tying with Messi for the golden boot. Kane has got a huge task on his head if he wants to get this golden boot. He needs to score at least a brace up against Norway, and Haaland would only score one against England to stay in the race. Obviously, the further you go into the competition, the more goal scoring opportunities you get. So, Rabiot laying it out wide. It's going to be given all the way back to a defensive partnerships. I think France are there to be beaten. They're just a team that, we know the beautiful football they possess, the skills in their team. But I think actually at times they haven't been always gilt-edged in the final third, and actually that's lackadaisical by Elise. Too heavy of a touch, though, by Rahimi. That goal earlier, it was a great goal. You can't take away from that. On the far side, no way, left the goalkeeper completely stranded. Mbappe's done a great job. He's had a great career so far. You can't take that away from him. Another shot comes in and another goal, this time for Dembele. All beginning to feel like the Sweden game all over again. Bono's had a great game, but sometimes you just can't prevent the skills that this France team has. And it's this time Ousmane Dembele, who I think is still the Ballon d'Or winner. Till whenever that occurs. It's normally towards November time, isn't it? And they do say whoever's going to win the World Cup this year, their best player will probably end up winning the Ballon d'Or. I personally think Kane deserves it. But can't complain a great deal about that one. It was a beautiful goal. A lovely run forward. It was a great progressive carry, actually, by Dembele. And then he's just taken the shot perfectly and ended up same corner that Mbappe scored literally moments before. Bono's got a touch, but it's not enough to poke it away from goalwards. All them shades of 2022 comes back again for Morocco. It's the same scoreline, 2-0. Sense of deja vu. They've had a great tournament. There's nothing that's going to be taken away from them. They had a fantastic tournament. But 66 minutes in, it's 2-0. And it's just been that second half, and we are going to have a hydration break. And I think it's not necessarily always been on the cards for France. I think they have lacked maybe the goal scoring finesse, shall we say, especially in the first half. But this second half, they have been brutal on the long range, sort of medium range shot. It's sort of edge of a penalty area shot, and have actually managed to do great. But I think question marks for me have to remain over the Moroccan defence. It's not the goalkeeper per se, but the defence has had the line too high at this moment in time. And we know the hydration break switches momentum like mad. Mazraoui, by the way, on a 5.7 and Hakimi on a 5.9. Serious question. 6.4 for Diop, 6.3 for Saladin. They've all dropped in ratings, and they've all, suddenly a lot of questions are beginning to be asked for this team. All apart from Elise as well as being involved in a goal involvement in some way, shape, or form, whether assist or a goal. And they were very similar goals. It was just taken one by Dembele and one by Mbappe. So I've been enjoying this game. I'm more and more liking what I see from France, which is the only time you're ever going to hear me or any Englishman say that. Um, but it's one of them ones that I think they deserve to be in the semi-finals. They're clearly very good at tournament football as well. I've got a camera angle literally through a stream of water. You can't see F all from that. You can see a hazy frame shot of Didier Deschamps. Some other decision making with camera work has got to be questioned there. And if you're of French persuasion, neighbours over the channel, well, you'll be absolutely delighted about how this game has gone so far. If you're Moroccan, it leaves a lot to be desired and quite an uphill battle in not a lot of time to go. France are actually making their first substitute, and it's the number 18 who was coming on. I don't really know who Zaire Emery is. Kone is coming off. So at least one of the ones I kept on confusing between the two is coming off. And a guy called Zaire Emery is coming on. I don't know who he is. I'm sorry to say. A bit ashamed to say, to be honest, but I don't know who he is. I can throw my hands up and admit that. He definitely wasn't in either of the last two World Cup squads for France, I don't think. Might be a talented youngster, and maybe he'll ingrain in my memory by having a progressive campaign here. That goal kick by Magnan is far, far too much, and Salah Eddine will take it. All the good work that Morocco had done that first half has been gradually eroded. And there's nothing which will stem this French tide from coming. And if it's 3-0, it was never a 3-0. But same the case with Spain versus Austria. It was never a 3-0 in that one. But same with France versus Sweden. Wasn't a 3-0 in that one. And each time it ended up being, well, actually, here's a great chance to have a counter attack. Hakimi on a great run forward there. He's done a great dribble. And won his team a throw in. Great work. And Amrabat lays it out wide to Talbi, who had a great, 15 minutes or so in the opening of the second half. And then since that goal went in, it was very quiet. It does actually find Brahim Diaz for that cross, I think. Is it Brahim Diaz? It might not be, actually. I think Brahim Diaz has become much more central again. It's so hard because this lineup changes so much. Salah Eddine lays it out wide to Talbi. He'll take for crossing. That's a poor miscue by Meccano, which will result in a corner kick. Talbi taking crossing, and I can only assume that's not what Meccano was meant to at all, and it looked like it ended up on the roof of the net. It looked like it might have been even an own goal. He just slashed at it and got it all wrong. Oh, he's just duped everyone. Hakimi just duped everyone with a corner kick because he dummied it. He actually goes in now. It's gone really past a bit of everybody, and now he's done a great job to keep that in. Oh, he hasn't. I thought he might have done. It was a close call. Very much on the line stuff. And it was a poor corner. Go back 5. Yassine is now coming on. Salah Eddine is coming off. And Brahim Diaz's day is over. And El Ouadi is coming on as well. I'm not going to lie, I don't know who El Ouadi is. Although I don't think a lot of people know a lot of these Moroccan players. But we've heard of the likes of Hakimi and Brahim Diaz before, but some of the other ones, maybe not. Nahi, I know he's had a great campaign. That's a obvious free kick, which seen Dewey tumble to the ground. Yeah, protect that bald head, Infantino, putting on a cap. Surprised he's not got a MAGA one. Make America great again. Clearly so biased towards them. Well, 15 minutes left of ordinary time. We'll probably have about 5 minutes of stoppage time, I suspect. At least. Amrabat goes in a full circle, but opts to go forward again. Actually opts to go for a cross to Diop. He is on a yellow card. The only one so far in the referee's book. Actually, there's now 3 bold men on the pitch. And they've all, defensive-ish players for Morocco. There's your interesting fact. You don't get this on ITV, I can guarantee you that. So now he has it. One of the players has gone down with cramp for France. Or down, maybe further injured. I think it might be Mbappe. He's now sat back up. This will be some proper BS if he's not actually injured. France are actually looking to make a substitute, but could well be bringing Mbappe off. They don't want to, overextend him. He is obviously one of, if not their best player. I suspect he's probably best player. It's been for quite a while, actually. He came on in 2018 and shocked the world about his great performances. He was the wonder kid that has actually reached some heights. But not all the Dele Allis of his world. Jesse Lingard's ones which didn't reach it. He's someone who did. Had a great child or teenagehood, and his day is now over. But he's scored a goal. He's helped his team. He's done what he needed to do. And actually, somebody who I've been waiting all World Cup. Dewey is also coming off, by the way. He's also had a great game so far. Barcola is coming on naturally to replace him. And someone I've been waiting all World Cup to come on is Mateta, the Crystal Palace centre forward, who is a great big whopping target man. And he's the sort of player I've been screaming out for in this game. So it could be trouble. And I love seeing Mateta play. He's a wonderfully gifted player with his big build, and he's your iconic target man. So if you like, your big target man, he is definitely that bulky target man that you like. It reminds me of McGoldrick when he was at Derby. That target man we had, who just scored so many goals as well. But enough of my glazing of him. Actually, France got a chance to counter-attack already here. Lise laying out wide. The first thing for Barcola's action, trying to cross it to Mateta, but Morocco managed to deal with that and will launch a counter-attack here. Just about managed to win a free kick there. It was a cheeky knock. And Talby with it. That's a heavy touch all the way into defence, a bit unnecessary. Morocco got quite a difficult challenge, to be honest, because I actually think France defensively, although haven't always been challenged, when they have been challenged, they've been decent. I don't necessarily rate Mannion as much as I rated Hugo Lloris as a goalkeeper. I don't think many people have challenged him so much in this World Cup. As a bit like Unai Simon, although I think Unai Simon has had a few more things to save. Was it a handball? I don't know. And France will launch a counter attack. Mateta is running forward, although I think he's now about to enter an offside position. A chance to pull off a cross for Barcola, but it's going to go out behind. If that was a cross, it had very little pace on it. Let's see this again. Barcola takes a touch into the penalty area. That might actually be a corner. But it was very low paced. Dembele takes it very short to Elise. They've been a wonderful duo so far this World Cup. They've been linking up constantly. It's quite a iconic duo to watch in a sense. You know, when you have them two players which just have the same reading and understanding in the game in international football, it's such a rarity but such a blessing. It's gone all the way back to Bono in goal, but Mateta was lurking. And that's the thing. I don't necessarily think Morocco have yet found. I think there was a bit of it between Hakimi and Brahim Diaz, but I'm still not fully convinced that they've so far managed it. Unahi, lovely touch to get around Elise there. Amrabat. It's all the way out wide on that side by that substitute. I can't remember who it is. Is it El Unhi? Is he that guy? Anyway, it's a great cross or pass which has come in. It's just headed out for a throw in by Upamecano. Bit desperate, Upamecano at times. 17 chances for France, and only 2 for Morocco. It is worth saying these sort of stats. I think that it does just show that France definitely deserve their lead. That'll be a free kick, won't it? Referee's definitely put a whistle in his mouth. The shot that Mbappe took, by the way, for that goal, ended up with 77 kilometers per hour as its speed. It wasn't maybe the fastest, but it wasn't a slow roller. So, yes, a free kick it is, which Hakimi will take. I want to see better set-piece dead ball deliveries from Hakimi. I've so far been disappointed this game from his ability in doing them. Hakimi's got it back. He's on the opposite side as well. He's playing as an inverted wing back at this moment in time. Actually, Unahi's done well to get into the box, but they've drawn it back for the injury. What is going on? Hakimi is on the ground. I mean, Rabiot's hardly touched him. They've managed to get a free kick. That's jammy. And jammy gets. That's a very British terminology for you. Right. Hakimi takes it short. And Unahi's shot is saved by Mannion. But it wasn't bad by Unahi at all. And Mannion saw it late as well, so he's done a good save there. That'll be a corner. The ball last came off Elise. Just seeing that effort is such a. I mean, Mannion's got both hands to it, double fisted it away. There's someone literally standing right on the goalkeeper. Diop is. He's already on a yellow card. The armband is actually being given to Mannion, interestingly. That is a fascinating decision. He's also just pushed his own centre back at Saliba. That's ended up in the side netting. Did touch someone from Morocco, I think, on the way. Just seeing this header again. Oh, it's not a bad effort. Another chance for Morocco. Talabi's day is over. And Sabai is coming on. Again, not really too sure who this person is. Didn't quite have a design impact, Talby, I don't think. So, I mean, the more substitutes happen, the less people I necessarily know on the pitch, which is not great. 5 minutes left of ordinary time. Actually, beginning to get a bit tired. Eye straining is extra. Seeing your miss. The cross comes in from Sabai. It's claimed by Mannion, which was important. And France, that bowling out of France, can hit up on a counter attack. Well, it's all the way off. That's fortunate almost to find Elise, but he can't finish his dinner. That shot has been incredibly poor from Elise. It's a great ball to him, and he's just taken too long and gone wide or whatever. I expected better from him. He's tipped as, widely one of the best players in the world right now, and, have to retake the goal kick for whatever reason. That's because there'll be a substitute. And now Koundé is coming off. So now both Kone and Koundé is off, and Gusto is coming on. You'll be glad to know I think I have heard of Gusto. I can't remember where from, but probably the last World Cup. Right, so is that a block off? No, says the ref. Elise with it now in midfield. Oh, he's done a wonderful dupe there. He's gone in field. Oh, Mateta can't quite get there from the ball bomb Dembele. In an attacking sense, France are just a great player. And it's a forward run, by the way, from that substitute. I can't remember what his name is. It's parried behind. It's Barcola. That was it. It's parried behind by Bono. I mean, he's trying. I don't think it's he. Might just be creeping in. I don't know. Better safe than sorry, as they say. A lot of people we're talking about, can France do it without Mbappe, who has got actually an ice pack taped to his foot. So if he is out for the semi-finals, it does create a bit of a problem. Mateta's header ends up going way wayward. I mean, he's had no control on it at all. He's facing his back to goal. He doesn't even know where it's going. He's just roughly headed it goalwards. Sabai goes into his defensive partnership. It comes with Diop. Moment. It's a nice cooling breeze coming through this window. It's been absolutely baking today. Morocco just sort of whimpering out in this game, to be honest. Not a lot they've put up, to be honest. Mannion is being pressured, but it's all too poor, to be honest. 20 attempts on goal, actually, apparently, for France. 7 on target. 4 for Morocco, 1 on target. It's just talking about narratives being spun. It's sort of one which France have dominated. Sabai with it at the moment. It's not been too bad since coming on. Cross comes in. It's headed into the arms of, well, Manuel will just keep it to touch, actually. Thought he might have picked it up, but he's done so now, having been applied pressure from the Moroccan number 9. I'm not sure what the manager can do at this point for Morocco. I think this is destined to end 2-0. There's a wave of French tricklers in the crowd. I don't know whether it's my English upbringing, but a trickler just doesn't look like a good flag. It just isn't. It's just a boring flag. We're about to find out how much stoppage time we've got, and it's been 6 minutes in total. So 6 minutes of this wonderful Fabadabadoo game. Ousmane Dembele lays it off short. I don't think France have actually used all 5 substitutes, which I think is good. I mean, I could be speaking too early. They could well be. Gusto goes back, and it's going to go all the way back to Mannion by Upamecano. Mannion powers it down outfield. Too much beans on that, and will be a throw-in. I am going to be looking like that Moroccan guy purely because I feel so knackered. I'll tell you what, moving out is knackering. If you didn't know, I'm moving back to the Midlands this weekend, so a lot of boxes are surrounding me on that side, which you can't quite see, but it's so tiring putting so much stuff away. The cross comes in, it's cleared. That's actually going to be a corner. Luca Digne, not a great clearance. So Sabai, interestingly, will be the one to take this corner kick. And it's headed away and further cleared by Dembele. On the edge of the area. They're coming in from Morocco. There's a chance they get something here. Just can't find a target in red. So 4 minutes left, and France are sort of dominating play as we end up with it. Gustavo going up out wide with Elise. He will look to probably keep it in possession. He does. Upamecano to Rabiot. This game's just going to peter out. There's no point in me much commentating, to be honest. It's into touch with Mentetta, but he's surrounded by red shirts. Nothing much you can do, to be honest. And can they set up a counter-attack? They're out wide at the moment, Morocco. Cross-field ball. Trying to find Sabai. He's definitely controlled that with his arm, by the way. He's been good, actually, Sabai, since he's come on. I've been quite a fan of him. Out of all the substitutes, has definitely been one of the most positive impact for both teams. I mean, too little, too late for when he came on to make an impact, and there'll be questions on that for a while. Upamecano with it now. A chance for France to launch a counter-attack. The game's got quite expansive recently. Dembele, crossfield to Mateta. This could be free. It's a save by Bono with his feet. Thought maybe it might have been. Don't know why, but number 8's name's gone completely out of my head right now, but he had a run forward there, but it is nullified by that wall of white. Elise feeling a bit exhausted, sloppily giving away a throw in there. That Mateta shot was sort of a first piece of goal malfaction in the Moroccan own goal for quite a while, actually. They've just sort of been content, France, to see out this 2-0. A very long-range shot goes over. Mannion was off his line. Well, that number 16, Elanu, I think his name is, would have got his name in history if he managed to get that shot to come off. Oh, don't tell me they're giving Mbappe the man of the match. That's so boring. Thing is, they can't give it to Bono because he conceded 2 goals, but neither of which were his fault. I think he definitely deserves a lot of plaudits. You know, they've had 20 attempts on goal. They only managed to score 2. Actually, it'll be 21 now, isn't it? Like, are you telling me a forward deserves the accolade for managing to score 2 goals in 20 attempts? That's going to be a free kick. By with the foul up against Elise. Entering the final minute of play. I'm sorry if I'm not the most invigorating, exciting person in the world right now. It's, I think, past 11 o'clock in the UK. Yeah, just gone past 11 o'clock. Which is ironically towards the earlier times of some other games which we've been watching, but streams make you tired. If you ever consider YouTubing as something, consider how much time it takes and how much energy. Okay, France coming forward for a final foray. This will be the final, actually. We've got the half of the game. It's gone way, way over as well. So France have won. It's 2-0. And, well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You probably have all turned off, gone and watched something else, highlights of Wimbledon or something. To the surprise of absolutely no one, France has won. SofaScore's actually given the man of the match to Ousmane Dembele, which, okay, fair enough. Mannion on a 6.8, Mike Mannion. But bad game, to be honest. He's only had 1 save to do on 1 high claim, I think. Not a bad game, though, but I think that's being harsh. But he's had nothing to do, really, which is the fault of Morocco. 7.0 for Luca Digne. And definitely in a forward sense, instrumental in some of the build-up. The link-up between Digne and Doué was quite good. 7.1 for Saliba. He kept a clean sheet. Job done for the Arsenal defender. Can't complain much. 5 clearances in total. Yeah, you know, he kept him at bay. I mean, it's a large amount of a clean sheet credit does deserve to go to him as much as the ineffectiveness of Morocco. 7.3 for Upamecano, actually. I mean, I was scathing a bit of him, I suppose you could say. But he had 8 defensive contributions, won 2 out of 3 tackles, won 3 out of 5 ground duels, but he was dual pass once and did 1 foul. That block shot, I thought, a bit iffy, shall we say, or maybe 1 of the 4 clearances. Shot-wise, he only had 1 which was saved, but that's marked him down a bit. But, you know, he's a centre-back. Jules Koundé on 7.1. Didn't really do what I said he needed to do at half-time. I mean, he made 5 clearances and won 3 out of his 3 aerial duels. So, and he came off ultimately for Gusto, who was on a 6.8. So it was a bit of a downgrade when he came off. And actually, the ascendancy at that point was, or I suppose the intention at that point was to try and keep a clean sheet. 7.2 for Rabiot, and did his typical box-to-box midfield job, I would say. Constantly linking up between him and Doué. Not the greatest of midfielders we've seen in the world. I wouldn't think anyone would suggest so, but just did the job. 7.2 as well for Kone, very similar story for him. A lot of cross-field passes at the time, one key pass. But yet again, most of the time it was powering down the wings this game. There wasn't a lot of control in midfield. Kone did actually come off for Zaire Emery on a 6.7, which basically means he did nothing. So he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just neutral. He had one cross which wasn't accurate, and that was it. So he'll probably go down as someone who I still want to remember next time he makes an appearance. Doué on a 7.4, made an assist, made some impressive runs forward overall, and think he was a threat on the edge of the box. Lot of good work keeping possession. 65 touches, and 2 out of 6 dribbles successful. 17 carries, 6 of which were possession. Progressive ball, a total of 109.4 meters, and his carrying distance was 143.3 meters. So, and a lot of a ball actually in total, Doué, which is always a lot of a difficult thing to do as a winger. It really is. And he came off for Barcola, who was on a 6.9, the best of the substitutes, it is worth saying. We sort of hovered around, but from a fast break, Barcola had one shot, which was on target, but was saved. But Barcola's it was almost a like for like for dribbling, actually. And arguably, Barcola was almost as good. He had 7 carries and 3 of them were progressive. He was as good, I would say, in terms of that particular stat as Doué was. A 7.5 for Lise, and he was a bit of everywhere. He even had to come back and help out in defence at times. One key pass, one cross is accurate. A bit everywhere, and his shooting was, the less said about that, the better. He had 3 shots, 1 was blocked, none of which were on target. So his shooting could be improved upon, but in terms of he covered every blade of grass almost. He was just that great. 8.8 for Ousmane Dembele. 8.9, sorry, for Ousmane Dembele. They've updated that one. He had 2 big chances. He created 4 key passes. All 3 of his crosses were accurate. Nothing you complain about it. He scored a goal. A 10 out of 10 performance from the man. And you can tell why a lot of people were thinking, he's sort of the unsung hero in a sense. And that's why he was the Ballon d'Or winner last year. And maybe again this year as well. You never know. If France win the World Cup, he's certainly in with a chance. And another man who's in a chance is Kylian Mbappé on a 7.8. A goal and assist. I mean, it is deserved in a sense, the high ranking, but he had 4 shots and only 2 were on target and 2 big chances and misses, including that penalty. We do have to talk about that penalty. It was a disappointing one. And I know he went off injured, Mbappé, I wish him a speedy recovery, but just saying that I don't necessarily... He drifted too far out wide at times. He was at times very absent and wasn't really bringing much of us into play. Matetovo was on 6.5, so clearly a downgrade when replaced. I gave Matetovo a big I am. He had 2 shots, one which was on target and one was a big chance missed. To be fair, one of them was a glancing header, which he knew nothing about until it came off the back of his head. I think when I mentioned the 3 Boldman stat, that was before Mateta came on to add to that list. And actually, I've completely forgot Upamecano is also bold. I think he's bold. He's definitely got a receding hairline. Quite badly in that case. So 8.0 for Bono. Deservedly for me, maybe even the man of the match. made 6 saves in total, one of which from a penalty. He did have an error which led to a shot, but if he didn't have that, he probably would have won it. He prevented 0.62 goals. So I don't know how they switched from saying that he prevented 1.5 goals at half time to preventing 0.62. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, Bono, great game. Great player as well. 6.2 for Hakimi, a very poor game from his standards. His set pieces were dreadful. And he was far too slow in recovery. Enabled Dewey to pull off the assist. Diop on a 6.4. The only yellow card of the game went to Diop, interestingly, for a very poor challenge. 8 defensive contributions in total. He wasn't a dirty player, but I think, actually did a lot of good work in trying to keep a clean sheet, which ultimately didn't come off, of course. But, I don't think he had a bad game. I just think Morocco as a whole had a pretty below average game. Mazraoui on a 6.0. I'm going to say he had a bad game, right? He gave away the penalty. He did make some atonements, but, I think a lot of faults on this Morocco defence can be pointed to him. I don't want to scapegoat a particular individual, but he wasn't particularly great. 6.4 for Saladin. Obviously, Dembele had him for toast. But he did win 2 out of 3 tackles and won 3 out of 3 ground duels. So I don't actually think he was that bad. Maybe a little bit harsh on Saladin there. Came off Eluardi on a 6.7. Well, actually an all right player, Eluardi. I thought he made some good progressive runs forward down the left-hand side. The defensive work would probably have definitely been improved upon, I must say. But in terms of doing what Saladin didn't, it was a bit of progressive play. 6.1 for Buardi. I thought he was rubbish. I didn't want to scathe him too much in the game, but he kept on floating too much for my liking. Didn't do a lot on the ball. Didn't really make a lot of things happen. When Amrabat came on, I thought he had a better game. 6.7 as well for Amrabat. He went an extra 10, 15 yards forward. He had one key pass. He, progressed so much of a game forward. If Morocco maybe started with Amrabat's intensity, they would have probably been much more on the front foot. 6.7 for Neil El Anoui, who I think actually was a fairly decent option. He had 54 out of 57 passes accurate. He was never going to be world class, but I think actually a lot of his balls, he was dictating the midfield for quite a lot of it, actually. He kind of maybe went under the radar with some of the moves he went, and he wasn't afraid to foray into the attacking third from time to time. 6.4 from Brahim Diaz. For final third action, I think we can agree. 0 out of 2 crosses were accurate. He had 1 shot which was blocked in total. I was just expecting a bit more from him. He had a great World Cup last time around, and he's had decent games in his career, but I don't think he was quite there today in the headspace. And you're seeing one of 6.5 decided to just sort of hover around that midway line for a break. He also had a shot which was missed in the 95th minute. He looked to try and lower the deficit when it was all but gone. Unahi on a 6.6. I thought he actually had a decent game. Unahi, a lot of good moves across the front line. Not always most accurate, but he had 1 key pass as well. But yeah, a lot of trying something, which I like to see. If it doesn't always come up, fair enough, but at least he's tried it. Talbi on a 6.3. I thought he improved. He had a spell of about 15 minutes where he got 2 crosses, none of which were accurate, I will stress. But too negative for me. All of his passes pretty much resulted in them going backwards. And when he came off, he came off for Sabai, who was on a 6.3, but I don't think he was as bad as people are made out. I think he looked like he had the intention to do something, and actually, sometimes that's as good as anything. El Khanous on a 6.7. I still don't know what he did. From a forward perspective, I really don't know. And Rahimi, I thought was better, but they're only given a 6.2 for Rahimi. So, I mean, neither of which were great options up front, neither of which had the desired impact. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. That'll be hugely appreciated. My next video will probably be England versus Norway game, which I believe kicks off at 10 o'clock. So at least not staying up till 2 like I did the other night. Yes, I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now.